And the team that gets me excited, Manchester United, Manchester United.
In February 1910, the club moved to Old Trafford, a new stadium financed by J.H. Davis, who had plunged a massive £60,000 into the project. In front of 50,000 or more, Liverpool were the first opponents.
Away now to Old Trafford for a peep at the Manchester United club, First Division, the old Newton Heath club of 1902.
Hello, we're back.
We are back. Hello, everybody.
Hello. What was that? That was a very high H, wasn't it?
Don't start me off.
It's all right, we've been winding each other up. He's been giggling before we turn the camera on.
Yeah.
So he said he's not going to be able to do this one today. He'll be giggling, but he's doing all right. He's holding it together, look.
Yeah.
He's not laughing yet.
No.
With hello. So, with the impending questionnaire that's been issued by the club to fans, so season ticket holders, members, etc., about the upcoming changes to Old Trafford or a new stadium, we thought we'd do one about Old Trafford. You know, our views, our memories, what we think about going forward. A little bit of history as well of Old Trafford as well, some different views and aspects of it that maybe not everyone has seen or remembers. I might remember years ago, but we just thought we'd do a few bits and bobs. But what just remembered when I went to the Legends game a couple of weekends ago, all right, and went with Rob and his wife Emma, and Emma's sister was there with her fella. They're massive United fans, but never been to Old Trafford. This was a great opportunity for them to sample Old Trafford, go to the Legends game, get a ticket, and everything like that. So we met them up with it, and I gave them a little mini tour. I was the tour guide, right? And it just, when you're doing that and you're talking about it, it just makes you feel what a special place it is when you're talking to people who don't doing it, you know.
Mm.
So, you know, we were outside and just telling them a bit what it was like before, and then looking at the Munich Memorial on the concourse where everyone congregates at the closest home game to the anniversary of Munich, and then going down the Munich tunnel and talking about each bit that's in there, because it's a really you know, fantastic memorial that United had done in that Munich tunnel. That was done in the 50th anniversary, and they just couldn't believe it. You know, they knew a bit about it, but they didn't know loads about it. And it just and then you see the Jimmy Murphy statue as well. Obviously the Owners Trinity at the front, obviously Matt, but then seeing Jimmy Murphy there as well, and it just makes you feel what a special place it is.
Well, it is. It's historical, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it would be, in my opinion, a shame to move on, destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the history is there.
It is
on that pitch.
It is. It is
in that ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Because it's there because it's Old Trafford, isn't it? I know it's been rebuilt and a couple of times and modified, and there's only one little piece of the original but Old Trafford left. But it's still there. It's on the same place. It's the same plot, isn't it?
Yeah.
The pitch is in the same place. Obviously, it's not the same pitch, but it's in the same place. That area is where, you know, the first, when they moved there, Billy Meredith and Charlie Roberts there, and then the Busby Babes, and all played on that pitch in that area. So, and it does, and then when you see it and you're talking about it, you're thinking it will be really hard, really difficult to make the change, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be like starting all over again in a way.
I know. But I remember someone saying about that. You said about starting over again. Someone said it might help the team at the time, or the future teams, less pressure.
Yeah, I've always thought there's pressure.
Yeah.
Particularly with the installation of a museum. Yeah, they look at all the cups, the medals, trophies that United have won over the years, and does it place too much pressure on modern day players?
Yeah, could do, couldn't
That they have to attempt to live up to that. And
yeah, the players are.
but then again, at other clubs, I can't see that.
What, that they've got the history, or
And look at the history at Liverpool, for instance,
yeah,
and look at the team they've got today.
it's not
They
that,
play with freedom, and
yeah,
they're not carrying a big sack on their back, are they? Like you see United forwards, some of them, well, most of them, they don't run with any freedom,
yeah,
and they look restricted, or are they just not up to the standard?
I think there's all sorts of issues, aren't there? But,
There is, yeah.
But there's not. You said about Liverpool. Liverpool, yes, I've got history. Yeah, to do that. And but I think United's history. I know, but I think United's history is unique, and it's vast, isn't it? Given what happened to the team, losing how many players, was, so, and what they did, and coming back from that, and I think there's so much there, aren't there? But there's not many other teams, obviously, you say about, apart from Liverpool, who've got that history. They haven't really got it, have they?
No.
City haven't got a history, really, have they? They had a good side in the 30s, didn't they? Going back.
But it's their history, isn't it? It's peculiar to each team.
Yeah, I know it's their history and that, but
everybody's got history, even if it's a rubbish history. It's their history, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's, isn't it? A lot of the teams have got history. They've got history of like winning one trophy, and that's a massive history for them, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that's great. I think that's great. Going back and remembering that,
But it's not just about winning things. It's the history. It's the memories.
Yeah.
It's there are guys who've supported the club all their life.
Yeah.
And they've gone with their fathers before them.
Yeah.
And that's the history of the club. It's all mixed up.
It's all mixed there, isn't it? I think you're saying about City. I think they went with the old ground as well, Main Road, with it being in Moss Side and in the middle of the back-to-back houses, weren't they? And that was the history. And then when that was built, that was a massive stadium.
Yeah.
To do that, and going back to the 30s and that, then and the 40s, and the early, like Bert Trautmann, that's a big part of the history, isn't it? When he broke his neck in the cup final, and he carried on. And United played at Main Road, didn't they? After the war.
Yeah.
To talk about that, so there is a linked history. It's probably the best football that's ever been played at Main Road, isn't it? In that time, with United playing. So yeah.
But history shouldn't hold you back from evolving and moving forward.
Yeah.
So there's an argument both ways, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. But when we moan, probably do moan about the current team and saying that they're disrespecting players before. Is that us then putting more pressure on the team? Because we're saying they're disrespecting what's gone before. The Busby Babes, people have lost their lives playing for the club, and that as well. So, but then some players can't carry that, can they?
No, but they carried it in the 60s, in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
Yeah.
It didn't weigh them down then.
Well, we didn't win the league though, did we, in the 70s and the 80s?
Well, we did enough in the 90s.
Yeah, but not the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
We just missed a little bit. We were missing that extra bit.
Well,
got relegated in the
we're still playing good football.
Yeah, I know you were, yeah. That's the thing, being entertained, isn't it?
Yeah, United's more than winning.
being entertained.
Yeah, you win when you entertain the supporters.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I went to the League Cup game against Barnsley. Yeah, we knocked 7 past them. We played really well. Could have scored more. It was just nice to watch a game, relaxed, and enjoy it.
Yeah,
and see some goals.
yeah,
I know it was Barnsley, 2 divisions below. Maybe we found our level.
yeah.
But it was nice to see the players relaxed and playing.
Well, let's hope that they carry that on in the Premier.
It's
I can't see it myself, but
so let's see what happens.
we'll give it a go. Give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Just a short bit of history about Old Trafford.
You carry on.
You kept one, then you do your first bit then.
What was that then?
Oh, sorry, I thought you was going to do the bit about Old Trafford. But when it was built and...
Was I?
Yeah. When was it built? Do you know when Old Trafford was built?
I've got no idea.
What's your name?
No, what? No, I watched a guy on YouTube this morning.
YouTube, yes.
And he walked around Old Trafford and gave you the history of it.
Yeah.
And he walked down the street. I can't remember the name of the street, and it's got the plaque on the wall of the house.
That's it. So that
that was the side of Newton Heath.
Yeah. So Newton Heath, when they their first stadium was North Road when they were with the railway, and then the second stadium was Bank Street, and that's where that sign was.
Bank Street. Yeah.
So there's like a back-to-back houses, weren't they? And it's on this street, but it's facing the velodrome, so the National Cycling Centre.
That's right, yeah.
And that's where the pitch was. There's a car park there, and he was saying that this is where the pitch was pretty much. And it was surrounded by like chemical works and stuff, he was saying, weren't he?
Yeah.
So, and they reckon that sometimes if United weren't playing so well, they'd tweak it up a little bit. Whether they did that, I don't know.
Well, it would have.
But it would have affected the United as well, so just a thing, wasn't it?
And half the supporters would have died.
And exactly, yeah. It was a horrible place apparently, and the pitch was terrible as well. So that was Bank Street. But what the funny thing is of that though is it's a stone's throw from the Etihad now.
Yeah.
From where City play. Stone's throw from there. So it's funny. But obviously the first one was in Newton Heath, the first day where they went, which was just started as a field and they just built it up. From there, but that was a quagmire as well. Newton Heath until 1902, and that's when they changed the name. But before that, we nearly didn't have Old Trafford. We nearly didn't have United. It was nearly done. Newton Heath's history nearly finished in 1901. That would have been 1878 to 1901, Newton Heath, and that would have been it, because they were in dire trouble. Dire trouble. So one of United's best ever assets was the link to saving United, saving Newton Heath, becoming Man United, and then moving to Old Trafford. And it was a 4-legged saviour. Was a link to all that. So Major the dog, St Bernard dog, was the link to all that. So the story changes.
You carry on.
The story changes, whatever, but legend. But so captain at the time was a guy called Harry Stafford, who was a major player in United history. If you don't know anything about Harry Stafford, you must read about him. So great bloke, good player, massive United fan. He did loads for on and off the pitch. He had a dog called Major, St Bernard, who actually saved him when he was at sea. Someone was drowning in the sea, and Harry Stafford jumped in to save this bloke, but the bloke got a bit. He didn't want to be. He was flapping about and whatever. So Harry Stafford had to knock him out to drag him in, but he needed help. So he whistled his dog, and he come and saved him, pulled him back in. So obviously, massive bond with his dog. So Harry Stafford was trying to save United, trying to raise money. He was talking to different people and everything, and it was so desperate they couldn't pay the players' wages. The gates were really low. They were having like 3,000-4,000 to watch them. The players were having to split the gate receipts to get money. It wasn't the way to get any money, because they didn't have any money to pay them. So desperate for it. So what he did, he put on a bazaar, right, a fete basically, to raise money, and that's how desperate it was. He put a fete on to save to save Manchester United. It sounds incredible, doesn't it? So he did this. But with his dog, what he did was, apparently he was tied up to one of the tables in this big hall, and he had a big box on his collar, like donations. We'd go around and people put money in the thing. So, but he escaped, apparently. Went off. Then they found him. Somebody found him. And they found his way to some pub. Who John Henry Davis was the wealthy businessman in the area. He owned all these pubs, and he got to see this dog, and he took it home with him. All right.
Well, the dog was in the bar having a pint.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah. Well, St Bernard's used to have like bottles, didn't they? They used to say people didn't have brandy or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
he was filling the barrel up, was he?
Filling the barrel up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Schnorbitz, that was a same sort of dog, wasn't it? Bernie Winters.
Yes.
That was the same dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, you probably don't know who Bernie Winters is. Well, some people will.
Mike and Bernie Winters.
Yeah, very funny. I've gone off kilter now with that. That's my fault. So the dog is with John Henry Davis. Yes, he loves the dog. He's got a daughter, and he wants his daughter to have the dog, right? But in the meantime, advert appears in the paper. Dog missing. Goes by the name of Major. Blah de blah. Contact this number, and this John Henry Davis's wife had seen this in the paper and contacted the people. They arranged for Harry Stafford to go and meet John Henry Davis in his mansion in the outskirts of Manchester, because he was probably a millionaire in terms of money of time. Had a chat with him, and he said, "I want your dog. My daughter loves your dog." And he said, "Well, I love my dog as well. I don't want to do it." So we started to butter him up a little bit. He basically put him in charge of a pub, one of his pubs. So Harry Stafford had that. Things went on a little bit longer. The club had a winding up order against him. Going to shut. This John Henry Davis got to know about it, and he said, "Right, I want your dog." He said, "Who do you love the most, your dog or your team?" That's apparently what he said. He said, if you give me the dog, I'll make the team good. New players, all that malarkey for this dog, right? So, and that's what happened.
Amazing.
Yeah, but there is actually John Henry Davis's daughter, who had the dog, right, was interviewed by the BBC.
Really?
Yeah, really, really. Yeah. So, and you've got to do your thing now.
What's that?
So it's a BBC interview on video, and
here it is.
Let's start here at Llandudno, where in an upstairs room near the promenade, an old lady remembers how, as a little girl over 70 years ago, she was the reason for the founding of one of the great football teams of the world. Mrs. Elsie Partington, now 84 years old, was then just coming up to her 12th birthday. She lived in a magnificent old house outside Manchester. Her father, J.H. Davis, was a rich and successful brewer in the city. One day he brought home a large, friendly St. Bernard dog, which had been found wandering about, obviously lost, near one of the public houses owned by the brewery. Mr. Davis gave the dog to Elsie to look after.
His clerk had found it on Oxford Road. It was lost after being shown at a dog show. And we found the name out on the collar, and that was how we got in touch with the owner. His name was Harry Stafford, and it said on the collar, "My name is Major of Railway Street Crew. I am Harry Stafford's dog. Whose dog are you?" And we all thought that was a wonderful thing. It must belong to someone with a keen sense of humour. Anyway, my father sent for this Harry Stafford, and he came to the house, and I got so enamoured with the dog, I worshipped it nearly. It was a week after when we found him, and my father tried to strike a bargain with him. Would he sell him the dog? So Harry Stafford said, "Oh, I would sell that dog for anything in the world. He saved my life at sea. There was a man drowning, and I rushed in to save him. The man got very obstreperous, and I had to knock him out, hold him with one arm, and whistle my dog from the shore, got hold of his collar, and he brought us both in. He said, otherwise I would have been drowned with the man. So I think the world of that dog.
But J.H. Davis was nothing if not tenacious. Elsie's birthday was approaching, and he wanted to give Major to her as a birthday present. He checked further on Harry Stafford's background and found that his chief delight was playing for a local football team called Newton Heath. This is where Newton Heath used to play, at the back of the chemical works in Clayton, Manchester. Davis discovered that the club's prospects at that time were about as murky as the fog which shrouds their old pitch on this December day. Newton Heath was bankrupt, and the bailiffs were about to move in. As a hard-headed businessman, Davis knew how to press home his advantage. He put it to Stafford bluntly: which means the most to you, your club or your dog?
So Harry Stafford thought for a long, long time. He said, well, I adore my dog. And he said, I adore my team as well. But, well, he said, what would you do, Mr. Davis? He said, well, I would take it over completely, furbish you with a brand new team, and you would still be retained as captain, and we'd make the ground decent, and everything would be made all right for you. Now, if I do that, will you let me have the dog? So Harry Stafford said, well, under those circumstances, we'd make it a bargain. So the bargain was made in the morning room at Moseley Hall, Cheadle, where we lived, and Harry Stafford went away very happy, and on my 12th birthday, he came back with the dog.
While Major lived on as Elsie's pet to the ripe old age of 17, J.H. Davis converted what was a bankrupt concern into one of the most successful sides in the country. Though he'd known nothing of football till meeting Harry Stafford, he remodelled the club by buying wisely and investing £73,000 in a new ground. He also installed Harry Stafford as a director. Perhaps the most significant difference between the old club and the new club was that J.H. Davis changed its name. Look at this trophy, presented to Miss Elsie Davis by the players of Manchester United Football Club.
It's amazing, isn't it, seeing that
Absolutely,
video?
yeah.
Unbelievable. So that's why you know it's true, because that is her talking about that. Unbelievable. The dog Major saved it. So he did it. He invested loads of money. There was a lot more to it as well. To and fro.
Well, that was enough. I got lost.
I know. So it's
Halfway through
I know. Well, it doesn't take much to get you lost, does it? You get lost on a one-way street with no exits.
Oh, very funny.
Oh, yeah. So it's because he didn't say anything before. You see, you don't like it.
You're not old enough to take a good whacking. Good whacking.
Good whacking. Good beating.
Or beating, yeah.
No, we shouldn't encourage that. That's not
no, I'm not encouraging it.
No.
I recommend it, but I don't encourage it.
You're going to be ground me for the week, are you? No pocket money.
No.
So yeah.
Even now, well, I didn't get pocket money.
You was lucky lad. Lucky lad. Pocket money. We used to get paid in stones from garden.
Hey, but we were happy though.
Oh, I was happy. You get lots.
Apologies to any northern viewers. We're not taking the mic.
You get loads. You can get loads with stones back in the day. Anyway,
there's still a mug offer.
What's the offer now? Has it changed or?
They've come down in price.
Have they?
Yeah, they're £5 each.
Yes.
But the special offer is 3 for £25.
Yeah, that's a good deal, ain't that?
So get your orders in now. We've only got 2 left.
We've only got 2 left, yeah. So if you want,
and they are used, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they definitely haven't got any leaks in.
No.
But mine's different to yours, isn't it? But,
It is, yeah.
yeah. Mine's different to yours.
Yeah, still outstanding figures.
Yeah, but I've got a different picture on mine than you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Oh, so.
This is getting boring now. Get your orders in.
Yeah, special offer. Special offer.
And all you don't forget to subscribe and like. It doesn't cost anything, and it makes us more popular than we already are. And thanks for watching.
Yeah.
You probably got nothing better to do, but
yeah. But we love the feedback. Got some great feedback when I went to Old Trafford last game. It's Barnsley, brilliant.
Who was it? Ben?
It's got Ben, yeah, and his little lad. So
Ben,
they watch it.
And his little lad. What's the little lad's name?
So the little lad is it's Zayden. Zayden. So
Zayden. Well, he knows who he is, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely not Dave. Anyway, definitely not Dave.
No,
he's not. He's not. So yeah, he loved it. He said they watch it together, really enjoy it. So
takes all sorts,
licorice, all sorts. Back to Old Trafford. So just saying that link with Major the dog. If he hadn't gone missing, it wouldn't have happened. I can't imagine, because they were really struggling to get any money together. And this John Evie Davis wasn't really interested in football. He was just because of his dog, and then he got bought into Harry Stafford, and that was it then. And then he put money into the club, got rid of the debt. They got some players. But what one of the funny things is, which is close to what's happening now, is so about 1905, 06. So 1902 they changed the name to United. So they thought they said we need a name to bring more people in rather than just Newton Heath with Manchester. Come up with the United. That's another story how they come up with United. So Manchester United now from 1902 onwards. Still not a great team. They're still in the second division trying to build up. So they needed some more players. They bought a couple, but Man City started having trouble with the Football League for dodgy dealings.
Even then?
Yeah, even then. So it's funny, isn't it, how things come around again, isn't it? So, but most of the other clubs were doing exactly the same as what City were doing, right? So basically, it was about paying players more than what they should, because it was £4 maximum a week they could pay a player. That was it. So they'd pay him extra. They say they're doing a different job and they're paying more money. Or there was bribes going on with referees or the teams and all sorts of stuff going on. Right?
And that's gone on through the history of football.
Yes, exactly.
Remember Cloughie?
Yeah. Yep.
You've got to have a bit of dodgy dealing.
Yeah. So there's also it's always gone on, and it was going on there, but all of the clubs. But the Football League targeted City, because the only reason why they did it is because a couple of the players and that were actually agreed to give evidence about what had happened to them. I think Billy Meredith did as well, I think he gave a bit of evidence because he was getting paid all sorts of stuff. So it ended up, they got fined, they got banned, a lot of the players got banned for 2 seasons, whatever it was. So they had to sell a lot of the players to keep the club going. But United's chairman, I think at the time, was actually the chairman of the Football League. It's just a bit strange, isn't it? So we knew what was going on, so we had first-hand experience. So United had first pickings on the best City players, right? So they got the deals done, buying in some of these players. So Billy Meredith came across, Andy Turnbull. Who else was there? There's a fullback, but Burgess came across, and a couple of others as well. And United signed some other players. So overnight they bought a really good side with the other players that they had as well. So once the bans came up, then United were like flying. They won the league. The power in the city had shifted to United. They won the league, and then attendances were going up, and they realised we've got to move. Need something bigger. We need something that's going to surpass anything else in the country. So Archibald Leach was the famous architect at the time, and he designed Old Trafford. I think he did Villa Park as well, and a few others. I think maybe Rangers, maybe Ibrox, I think. So this design is going to be 100,000 capacity apparently. That's when it started off. They didn't do that because they couldn't afford to get it. So and that's what they did. They decided on Trafford Park. The story goes that John Avery Davis had already bought the land. He was going to use it as a store for his brewing business, and they decided, no, that's what we want, because it's going to be in the centre of industry, and we get more supporters going to watch it. So they moved from being next to a chemical works to being in the middle of this big industrial estate. So it was still pretty grim and stuff, but there you go.
I was born to be united. Daddy told me when I was just a baby. When I was 5, I went down the Warwick Road. Now I'm addicted, the only place I'll go. Take me home, United Road, to the place I belong, to Old Trafford, to see United. Take me home, United Road. All my memories, Bobby Charlton, Chucky Bass and Cantona, they came to us from heaven. Take me home, United Road, to the place I belong, to Old Trafford, to see United. Take me home, United Road.
Now football is a pleasant game, played in the sun, played in the rain, and the team that gets me excited, Manchester United, Manchester United.